What's up, guys? So we made it through Thanksgiving. Now let's take in the shortened trading week. So now we want to take a look at, okay, what are we doing here? So what are the markets doing here? So if we take a look at this, we're taking a look at SPY. You can see we're really strong uptrend from this low here up to that new highs. In about 399 days, we are up 48%. So crazy move we've been having so far in the markets. You can see we've had strength, and right now this weekly squeeze has fired off these buy signals. You can see we got buys back in right here, and now from this buy, we're currently up around 8% so far. So we've had weekly squeeze that fired long, and then we had our next weekly squeeze, which was here. If we zoom out, let's take a look at the monthly chart. So when this actually happened, we got, so, okay, actually, let's go max week. So this is what I want to see. Okay, so we got one, two, three, we got three weekly squeezes before we began this correction here. Right now we've gotten two, and this one's still pushing higher. What about this one here? We got one, two, and then we sold off for COVID. Okay, what about something more normal? Okay, so one, two, three. Yeah, so we could begin to top really at any time. So I'm not going to be the one to try and call that top, but a call is starting to get extended. So we do have to pay attention to that, but you have to just pay attention to the price action that's going on in the S&P 500. Okay, so right now we're bullish until we get 2 bars of shifting momentum, which you can see here, 2 bars of shifting momentum, and then we pull back. Um, I think QQQ might be a little easier place to spot it. So um, you can see here, buy signal, move up, buy signals, move up, and now we're printing more buy signals. So let's keep an eye on potentially going long the NASDAQ and looking for this squeeze to fire off to the upside. Now, why do I say that? Because if we look at the 4 hour here as well, you can see we're printing 4 hour buy signals. So any bit of weakness, we'll want to look to go long the NASDAQ and potentially play it to the upside as this looks pretty strong. Um, I like it. Looks good. And I think we seem to be setting up for continued upside. So weekly buys in the NASDAQ, um, they've stayed pretty consistent as usual. You can see the buy signal here gave us a nice move. The buy signals here gave us a nice move. Right now we've got two inside candles, so if we can break the highs, we should be off to the races. Right now we're holding pretty steady above 500. So I haven't looked much at the markets in the past week or so. So now I'm really dissecting what's been going on. And so we can see here, we've got buy signals, those played out nicely, buy signal played out nicely. Um, and then in terms of that, that's really, and then this was the buy signal prior, that one failed. That's when you know the trend is shifting. So those ones worked out, those ones worked out. And so that's kind of where you get the indication of when the trend is going to flip, as most of you know that have been trading with the signals. So right now, what we're looking at is um, we want to look to go along the NASDAQ. That's it, plain and simple. So let's see. 127 is or 527 is probably in the cards, but let's go ahead and you can do this as well. We can look for a price level. Like if we pull back to here, create an alert, crosses below, we'll want to go long. And so let's see. So yeah, from here, we kind of want to look to go play to the long side. So I like this. I like this setup with the 4 hour and weekly on the NASDAQ. So let's keep an eye on that and potentially play that to the upside. Let's see. Let's check out the NASDAQ futures chart. Whoa. Remove the open interest. Remove the open interest. Okay. So now pretty similar chart. We're just pulling back a little bit. So we did get that buy signal. So I think that here's what I would want to see. I think we can look to be long the NASDAQ anywhere between or above essentially this level right here. So if we break below, let's call it 2,400 or 20,400, we'd want to look to potentially get out of our long position. So, but for now, if we hold above this, I'm definitely looking to play this long. You can see here we've got this daily squeeze, which is starting to print as of today. We can look at lower time frames. How's that 30-minute looking? We're just getting a little bit of a pullback. A little bit of a chop fest, but that's because we're setting up for the next move. So we have to pay attention to that. This weekly squeeze bullish until proven otherwise, and we can look to be long. Plain and simple. Okay, so there's that. We go look at ES. This one has been outperforming the NASDAQ for sure. And we had buy signals a while ago, so that's a good indication as to why. But we've still got the momentum of this weekly squeeze going. So we can continue to look for the potential to trade this to the upside and catch this move. Okay. Next piece. So that's the NASDAQ or the ES and NASDAQ. Let's take a look at YM. I really got to get this off my screen. So when we're looking here, a few things we want to pay attention to. This thing has already been moving. It's been moving ahead of the NASDAQ and is actually making a really nice move to the upside. You can see here, we just had this move up, pull back, and then push up. So maybe we're showing room for some sort of, I guess, correction, you can call it. See how those lower time frame charts are looking? Okay, so you can see we're kind of just starting to consolidate here. I think that where we're kind of currently sitting and based on the daily chart, my assumption would be we might get a pullback at least to this previous high here. So that's kind of what I'd be looking for in the short term. But obviously, this chart is bullish, but in the short term, I'm thinking maybe we could get a pullback. And then IWM is pretty interesting here. Reason being, if we go look at the 30-minute, so we made a new all-time high as of recently. This weekly squeeze somehow still has not fired. Uh, but so what I'm seeing here is that we've got this 30-minute squeeze right under support, and it's kind of where we've got this triangle pattern playing out. So maybe we wait for the breakout, maybe we don't, but I think that we can look for continuation to the upside on this name, because if you also look, we've got this pretty nice cup and handle that is setting up here. So let's keep an eye on that. These can be a little tricky sometimes, so let's wait for confirmation. Let's see if it breaks out above, and then we can look to get long the IWM. So that's another thing to pay attention to. But right now, I think the main thing is we want to watch is the Nasdaq above, as long as it's holding above this inside candle low. I think that we can look for a breakout here, and um so really if we can get a pullback, some sort of pullback maybe into here, uh I think that that would be a good opportunity to be long and maybe catch a move up into 21,500, which would be about 500 points where we are from where we are. And I think that's really a really conservative target. It's hard to say because we've met so many extension points already in this run. So really what you would be looking for is as long as this, yeah, see, it's holding that support right there. As long as it holds above, and even if we don't get a pullback entry, we can just look for some sort of 30-minute, 15-minute squeeze play to catch to the upside, or just even play that QQQ 4-hour squeeze, which seemed to have a pretty nice fake out for a lot of people here on this day. So I like the idea of going along the NASDAQ into a new all-time high. And then based on these fib extensions, um, that 1272 is at 527. So taking into consideration, like if we, so it's about a 3.5% move. So if we go to the NQ, a 3.5% move on the NQ, well, we can go ahead and draw these. So from that major correction right there. Yeah, 22,000 is probably the next target. So, yeah, that looks pretty promising for a move into 22,000. So, uh, I think we've got a great spot this week where we can look to play the NASDAQ long. Okay. So that's the main kind of key piece for today, this week. That's what we want to watch, right? So other indexes look pretty extended, but I think this one is ready for us to catch that move. And it looks like if we get above that 21,000, we might rip 1,000 points up into that new high. So let's look for a break above that 21,000. We break above that. We wait for the next 15-minute squeeze, whatever it is, and we can play this thing long and catch a move up into 22,000. So 1,000 points higher is what I'm kind of seeing. I mean, obviously, the first thing we're going to look for is up into 21,340. And then from there, because that's the all-time high, right? But So just put that there. So that would be the first initial target, and then we would hold the rest, looking for that move into 22,000. Okay. Now let's go look at other stocks here. So those are the indexes. Okay, that had a pretty crazy sell-off. That's moving pretty good. Okay, so Starbucks is finally starting to break out. This has been something that has been trying to break out for a very long time. And right now it looks like it's ready to make its move. So um, you can keep an eye on this one. I think that our chance to get in has been lost. Um, I got disinterested in this stock because it was taking so long to break out. But it is what it is. So as long as it holds above that $100 price level, you can look for the next move into 105. But you can see here we got those the entry buy signal here, and have been printing buy signals since really, when was that? October 31st. So pretty much all of November we've been printing buy signals. So hopefully this thing can get a move on. So FSLR, not going to do anything with that right now. This one looks like a short for sure. ABT, this one, I'm not big into biotech stocks, but this is a pretty promising looking chart. I think that we've been printing buy signals all last week and we got a nice move up. But I do think we'll eventually break out. ALT, yeah, so let's keep an eye on this one. We haven't printed a signal just yet, but I don't I don't know. That chart looks weird. Let's not forget that. Okay, so this one is looking pretty solid. Um, it looks like it's going to break out here. High volume last week. Looks like we got a positive, met expectations. Earnings. The EPS growth is pretty solid with a 99. So I think this one could probably have some continuation. So let's keep an eye on that. Carvana, this one I'm definitely interested in. You can see here we've got daily buy signal, and within a really, really strong trend, this thing has been pretty much straight up. So I think potentially here soon, this could turn into a really great um, cup and handle pattern for a move up into all-time highs. So we'll just have to see when that pullback actually comes. But for now, we can keep trading the upside. Yeah, so this one, I think any lower time frame squeeze, we should look to be long. So definitely add this one to your watch list. Carvana, that daily squeeze. That, nope. Corning. This one seems to be breaking out. We can hold off on that one. Not a big fan of biotech. Las Vegas Sands. Okay, so this one could be interesting. So let's see. Why did it have, there was no volume on that day. Is there any reason why this did what it did? We'll keep an eye on this one because this is a pretty interesting pattern and it's got a lot of support here. So let's keep an eye on that and see how it shapes up the next few days. I think as long as it's above 50, we can look for a continuation to the upside. And I think it's trying to break out, which is pretty interesting because it's a pretty weird chart. MA, I think we missed the boat. This one made its move. You can see here. Okay, LO. Okay, so I'm definitely keeping an eye on this one. This one has a 4-hour squeeze, 4-hour buy signals. And the other thing to note is that it has 22% short interest. So this thing, if it does break out, it should go pretty crazy, um, and have a pretty crazy breakout. Let's see. EPS is solid -$5 per share to now -$8 per share. So, or 8 cents. So that's a really strong improvement. So we definitely have to keep an eye on this one to potentially play it long. This one currently does not have a setup, but it does look really good. So we'll keep an eye on that. S, this one looks pretty solid as well. It's got earnings, so we got to avoid that. UEC. So URA. So this is uranium. It looks like it's setting up for an upside move. So I want to keep an eye on this and potentially play this to the upside. It's got that monthly squeeze. Maybe we have a breakout here. It broke out of here, came back, retested it. So I do like the idea of this potentially finally breaking out. Um, it's got an A plus buy signal, a little cup and handle type pattern. It's outperforming the market. So let's see. 50-day relative strength is pretty strong. So let's keep an eye on that. And we'll look to play that to the upside. So top picks here. Let's do this. Like this. Um, so those are the top setups that I'm keeping an eye on. Um, there was another one that I was looking at, Carvana. Carvana daily squeeze. Okay, Starbucks, if this thing is going to start going, we'll want to look for an entry. And then okay, you that this one here, I believe this is almost at all-time highs. Yeah, okay, so this is at all-time highs. So we're gonna want to go with this one over URA. So we'll look at this. Um, we'll want to look to play this one to the upside and look for that breakout. What is that earnings? 12.6. Dang it. Right. And we'll be looking at URA. So that's fine. Okay. And then, so next thing we can do is stocks at 52-week highs. Okay. So that's taking forever to load. So let's go with, all right. Um, okay. So let's see if we've got any interesting 4-hour setups. Okay. So Amazon weekly. Okay. We need to add that in for sure. And then we can look at the daily. Daily is printing a squeeze. Then we look at the 4-hour. The 4 hour is printing a signal as well. So we definitely want to pay attention to that. Okay. DAL. This is in a 4-hour squeeze, but no signal. LUV, no signal. Fox, oh, missed that one on Friday, unfortunately. Marvel, this has earnings. MS, PLTR. Yep. Let's add that one. Okay. And then, yeah, that had a pretty solid. Let's see if we can get another 30-minute squeeze to enter into that one. And then, now let's see if we can look at, okay, hymns is making a move. That one looks solid. Doesn't have a setup. So D-Dog weekly. Yep. Good strength on that one. IWM, we've got that marked down. PANW, Rut. So Russell. Okay, Costco. Costco looks great as well. We can keep an eye on that one. That might be more of a 2-hour type deal. Uh, and then KR. Oh, that one's finally having its breakout, isn't it? Been stalking that one for a while. LII. SON. That was a nice move. Wow. Nice buy signals at $5. And now it's up at almost a double. Crazy. Um, Okay, last thing we're gonna look at is 30 minutes. So we've got a 30-minute squeeze on JPM, PM. That one's had a crazy run as of recently. So that's interesting. That looks like it could break out here. PNC. Yeah, okay. That's all I'm seeing here. So ARC. ARC is trading pretty solid. That looks pretty good. Rocket Lab looks pretty good. SoFi looks pretty good. Yeah, let's keep an eye on SoFi. That has a pretty solid setup as well. So cool. All right, those are the setups. That's kind of the things that I'm looking at into here. Um, and the ones I'm paying attention to. So I hope this helps. Let's keep priority on the right stuff here. I think that looking at uh, these setups here will be beneficial. So let's keep an eye on these and look for some stocks to potentially move higher. And thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.